I'm Matt channel, welcome. This is a video I'm making as a response to a question someone asked about a technique for using rolling mills. If that was you, apologies, I can't write a reply, I can't find it. It was a few days ago. I don't know, it's lost in a sea of comments I get on all the videos now. But yeah, I'm just going to show you my technique, which I believe is the fastest, quickest way. Speed when you're a professional jeweller, I mean, no one's ever cracking the whip on you, but it's a good thing if you can work fast. If you're really good, really accurate, make things really beautifully, you'll get forgiven for being slow. But if you can make things really well and be fast, you're considered like a real good person to have in the workshop. So it pays to have a bit of mind towards working quickly, although it's not essential. But yeah, I'm going to show you what I believe is the best technique for milling out metal when you get it done the quickest way with good results. So rolling mills, just a quick thing. It's a good idea to keep them clean, keep this section clean, because obviously you're squeezing your expensive precious metal against this steel, so any kind of impurities on that will get ingrained into the metal, and then just watch out for scratches and stuff. You want to keep them in good condition. These are actually due a bit of a buff up. The way I do that, I've just got some spray oil. See that? Oil. And yeah, just spray it on a bit of tissue or rag or something, just give them a wipe over to stop them, protects them from corroding in steamy air, and it helps dust not stick to them as well. Just a quick wipe, they stay cleaner better with a thin coat of oil on. Anyway, yeah, milling out metal. So I've got this chunk, 4 corners, I'm going through 3 these. What I do is, let's squeeze it a bit more. So I'm milling with my right hand. Obviously it's going to be different in the position of yours and whether you're left or right handed or whatever, but this is what I do here. Milling it, I'm looking down on it, looking over it, catching it on the other side, and then I rotate it 90 degrees. So that corner is now there. And then I put it back through the other way. That way I've only squeezed it once in one direction and I turned it and squeezed it the other way. If I do this and then go back again, you're sort of squeezing it twice, you're making it harder. You're literally hardening the metal without actually making any difference to the dimensions of it. The idea is we're trying to squeeze it thinner. So it's a really good idea to go through, catch it, rotate it 90 degrees and then go back the other way. And that's quick, yeah, like I can literally work like this. Like I'm working as fast as that. Rotate it a little bit, do that, rotate it the other way. Keep an eye on the metal, you can't keep doing it forever. You can only do it a few times because the metal will start to get really hard. You can tell when it's getting hard, it'll start to curl, and if it's starting to bend, then you start forcing it through. You've got a curl shape, it's not going straight through, it's like, imagine that's curved, it's sort of bending and being forced against this sharp corner, and you end up with little metal shavings down here. You're way over squeezing it if that's happening. Also, you're getting lemel at the bottom here, it's not good at all. So keep it straight, as soon as it starts to bend, it needs annealing again. Yeah. A quick technique for annealing quickly. So I put my metal down on my block like that, lengthways, and then my flame is coming from the side and going up and down it with a flame, and then you're getting the most effect from the heat of your flame. If you go across it, it's only a small section you're heating up at one point, and you've got all that heat of that flame being wasted. You can have the whole length of the flame going across it, it's going up and down, so you'll get it hot quicker doing it that technique. So as soon as that's annealed, I'll be picking it up in some sort of chunky tweezers because the tweezers will soak the heat out of it. I'll be blowing it, put it down there. I'll try and put the tweezers on top with it on my metal plate, my heat plate, just to draw as much heat out as I can quickly without causing a shock to the metal. Then when it's cooled right down, then I'll put it in the acid. I don't like dunking things in too hot. I think it can cause problems with the metal being stressed out. So I let it cool down a decent amount first before I put it in there, but at the same time I don't want to just like twiddling my fingers just waiting for it to cool down. So I will be blowing on it, putting tweezers on it, moving it around, getting every surface in the air, every surface against the metal, just that, then go to the acid. So it's not a huge eruption of like steamy acid when I drop it in there, it just goes tss, like that. That's okay. But like I say, you want to get a move on because rolling out a big chunk of metal is quite time consuming, especially platinum. You have to anneal things a lot more often, and you might be checking it like I've said in previous videos. You might want to be checking the corners, or I run my fingers down it without even looking. If they feel a bit rough, like this one does, my fingernails catching it, yeah, and sure enough when I loop it, there are a few little cracks splitting on it. This, by the way, is the actual bit of metal I said was going to be problematic in my previous video about having porosity in it. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on this one, and even milling it out, that tiny bit I just did on camera just then, it's already got cracks down the corners. So this is a bit of a troublesome bit of metal. So it's going to be more time consuming to work for this. I've now got to melt the corners a little bit, keep an eye on it, going to have to get it in the acid, might have to sit in the acid a bit longer. Yeah, more work, more time on this bit of metal. So I've got to get a move on. I've got to get it done. Like I say, no one's cracking the whip, not in my experience anyway. No one's really putting pressure on you to work fast, but at the same time, get a move on with what you're trying to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to anneal it, cool it down, mill it, anneal it, cool it down, mill it. Just do it a couple of times, just so you can see how I work. And if you haven't seen my videos before, if you're new to the channel, I was a professional jeweller for like 23 years. A few years ago I left and now I live in Japan, so that's why I'm making jewellery videos for YouTube. Give me something to do. Yeah, so you can just see how I work, because I've been through the mill of being a pro jeweller. I've been around jewellers who like own the businesses and stuff, so the way I'm working is a way you may be expected to work. Right, so I'll just do a bit, shall I? Not rush in, so it's not like a race, but I'll just work how I would if I was employed. With my crappy blowtorch. Probably anneal is quicker if I had decent soldering equipment. Alright, okay. Push that away from the edge in case I drop it. Pick it up, blow it, don't touch your mouth with it, it's hot. Metal block. Just rotate it. Metal will cool down quicker. The sort of longer and thinner it gets, it will cool down quicker. When you've still got a big chunk, you have to be careful with them quite a long time. So that should have cooled down quite a lot now. Stick it in my acid, a little bit of a hiss, nothing crazy. If this metal was really dirty, I'd leave it in a lot longer than that. Notice how at no point I stop and pick up a smartphone and start looking at stuff. Absolute killer of your concentration, your focus, and your ability to get on your work. So I don't like smartphones for that. Well, I don't like social media. So yeah, milled it, rotated it, holding it in position, little rotation there, mill it, sort of looking at it as well, making sure it's not all curling up or cracking and stuff. It still feels quite soft, so I'm going to give it another pump. Okay, right, that felt harder and it's just starting to kink a little bit. So I'm going to anneal it again now. In platinum, I don't think I could have milled it as much as that. Sometimes you are under pressure, like you've got a customer who's spent a lot of money, they've got a big platinum ring, you don't have a bit of platinum that's good enough for the ring shank, so you have to do a little mount up. You might have to get on with it really quickly, you might have to be ready like by the afternoon or something. My old boss in London was really quick at milling out metal. Like, I was never as fast as him. I don't know how he worked so fast without cracking the metal. If I squeezed up as hard as him, I'm sure I would damage the metal. It's weird how some people can do things you can't. But you'll find when you're working in jewellery, you will have things that are your favourite things that you are naturally good at. Yeah, soldering, milling, not my strong points. I can do them, but not as good as some other people. So blowing it. Again, as it gets a bit longer and thinner, it'll cool down a bit quicker. I do touch things gently just on the end to see, sort of check the temperature. If you're a jeweller, your skin will get sort of work hardened to get all strong and you'll lose sensitivity. You'll lose sensitivity to touch and to heat as well. So you can touch really hot things without actually hurting yourself. So that's cooled down quite a lot now. Again, listen. It's a little bit of a hiss, like hardly anything. Non-heated acid. This is safety pickle. I don't heat it up, seems to work fine. So I don't bother trying to get things hot anymore. Water. Rag. Make sure things are properly dry before you put them in a mill, because obviously you don't want water against the steel of your rolling mills. Right, tighten up a little bit. Looking at it, make sure it's pulled in straight out, 90-degree turn, back again. There you go, back again. So I just wanted to give you that bit of insight to how I work when I'm just getting on with something. Like, I'm not rushing, but at the same time I'm working, I'm getting on with it, but I'm not really pushing to go fast. If I wanted to speed up more, I'd be really milling it hard. I'd be squeezing it a bit harder, milling it faster, rushing back to my seat, and leaning it with a bigger flame, get it hot really quick, and then being less patient with it cooling down. I can speed it up if I really have to, but just how I work comfortably, whilst with the mindset of actually wanting to get on with it, that's what it looks like. So yeah, if you like the video, click like and subscribe, share it if you want. That's it, yeah, cool. Right, see you next time, bye.